So all I'm going to show here is just how to paint some of the leaves. I've already shown you how to wire them in previous Facebook Lives, so we're just going to paint these ones to make them look a little bit more realistic. Originally I used just some of the Distress Oxide inks to actually colour the white clay, but now we're just going to go that one a little bit further. Admittedly you probably don't need to, but I just go for a colour green to start with in the first instance. So the sort of greens we're going to be using is sort of like a grass green really, and a little bit of black. So we're just going to mix that one up just on the glass mat here. So a little bit of that, and then just, and I do mean a dab of black. You don't want to go too dark with the green. Okay, so I'm just going to go a little bit, probably just actually take it from the lid there, and let's have a look. Yeah, that's probably not too far actually from it. So it's almost the sort of colour we're after is sort of colour you'd expect to see on a rose flower. Maybe I'm going to add a little bit more, but I don't want to contaminate my brush there, so I'm just going to literally see what we can squeeze out of the end of this one, but not too much. Let's have a look. Probably just that much again. That sort of looks good. Okay, right, so let's just pop the lids on there. Just gonna take that brush, just pop that aside for the moment, and just get mixing. So it's quite a darkish green. Okay, very different to what we started with. So once you're happy and you've mixed that in nicely, then literally it's just a case of taking your leaf and then coating it. Now what I always suggest is make sure you go all the way around the edges as well, so there's going to be no gaps. So I normally start around the edges and then go on to the centre part a little bit later, because just so we know that we've covered that pretty well. Okay, so just go in there. Personal preference is just to let these dry just on one side before you paint the other. Okay, so that's one, but just keep on going for all the leaves that you want. Okay, that's all the leaves done. Let's just wait until they've near enough dried. It's pretty hot in here today, so it's actually drying pretty quick, and then just go on the other side, and then, which is the underside obviously of the leaf, and then just using the same colour paint, just go onto there as well. And you can see the clay does take the paint extremely well. Okay, so just quickly just go over all of those. So there's all our leaves. Okay, we just need to let those ones now dry. Okay, which shouldn't take too long. So it's quite a darkish green there. Now, what we can be doing just in the meantime is just adding. Let's just grab that. Okay, from there, and then we're just going to want a little bit more of the original green that we actually used. Okay. Not too much again. So, you know, this is acrylic paint, okay. And then a little bit of that black. We're looking for slightly a darker colour, so I'm just going to see if I can achieve that by squeezing way too much out there. Okay, let's just take some of that back. Okay, I think I saved it just in time. Give that a little bit of a mix. Okay, so that's a sort of colour, so it's almost like a black, but not quite. Okay, so it's quite a dark green now, more so than our original colour. Okay, so just keep on mixing that in until you're happy you've got a nice consistent colour running throughout all of your mix. Okay, and I think that's just about it. Okay, let's just have a look. So that's our original colour. You can see that one just very slightly darker. We could actually go slightly darker even more. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. We'll see how it goes. Right. Okay, once we get to that point, we're just going to grab ourselves a foam brush. This one's actually quite a chunky one. Let's see if I can get finer. This one's okay. That one's slightly finer. Okay, so just dab that into your paint. Okay, like so. You don't want to overload this. Okay, and then simply just brush onto the edges of your leaf. Okay. Now, let's see if we can actually see a difference there. We can just about see. Maybe I'm going to add a little bit more black. You can keep on playing with this, but like I say, you don't want it so it's too like black, but just enough to distinguish it from the original colour actually on the leaves. So just have a play with that. Like I say, I'm just going to darken that up just very slightly. Okay, I think that would do. Let's just have a look. Okay, yeah, I think that's a little bit darker than it was previous. Okay, right, so let's try that again. It's all about experimenting with the colours. Let me just dab that so you can see there. That's our previous colour we had, and this is now the dark colour, so I'm pretty happy with that. So just going to go onto there, dab off. Okay, so we're just going to go around the outside of the leaves. Okay, just to give it a little bit of shape, but just by using the colour. Okay, so that's sort of the effect we're wanting. Obviously you can dry brush that a little bit more if you should so wish. So just, like I said, just around the outside. Right, so we have all of our leaves already done. We're now just going to add that centre bit down the middle there. So we're just going to want some white acrylic paint. Okay, let's just squeeze, and I do mean a little bit out of this rather large bottle I have here. Okay, literally you want about that much. Okay, it's hardly any. That's near enough per leaf, so just you know, measure that out accordingly. So then with hardly any on your paintbrush, and just take the leaf and then just brush down the centre of it like that. So like I say, you need hardly any. Then what we need to do is just brush slightly outwards like so. Okay, so it's going to give you that type of effect. Okay, so no more no less. So again, just make sure you haven't got that much on your brush, and just flick the bristles sort of like outwards from the centre outwards on every single leaf, and that can give you just the look that you want. So you're going in what was the lighter green area in the middle, and you want to brush outwards and sort of like beyond into the black. And because you've had or used hardly any of the white paint, it sort of is, it does become a little bit sort of like translucent as such, or transparent should I say. And then just keep on just brushing that in. But that is the sort of effect, just very very quickly, that you're after on all of your leaves. And then once that's done, it's time then to get the varnish and give what is at the moment a very dull leaf a nice shiny finish. Okay, so now we're going to varnish them. I have actually already given these one coat, so you'll see they've got quite a nice shine. The reverse hasn't got anything, so you can see there's a really big difference there between the front and the back. Okay, but my two preferences are this one here, which is clear coat from Viva Decor, and then we've got this one here that is glossy varnish from Pentart. Both of them are water based, and it's really really crucial that you go for a water based product. Okay, right, so let's just take those off, and now I'm just going to grab our leaves. Hopefully these ones have dried. they are pretty quick at drying. And we're just going to add a little bit onto our brush, and then we're just going onto the back of these leaves. And normally I tend to do 2 coats just to bring out the sheen, but to be honest with you, this product is pretty good. This is the Pentart one, at creating a nice sort of glossy finish with 1 coat, but it's entirely up to you, whatever sort of look that you want. So like I say, that is 1 coat. That's pretty nice as it stands. So that's all I think I'm going to do on these. So this is just the back of the leaf. Okay, and just quickly do the other 3. Okay, so you don't need a lot of this product, and it seriously is going to last you a long time. The reason I said it's got to be water based is because you've got the acrylic paint underneath. Other sort of like varnishes that contain sort of like chemicals and what have you, they can start to eat into the paint. So I always tend to err on the side of caution and go for one that is water based, because that's not going to damage the paintwork underneath. If you're unsure, then just do yourself a little test. Okay, so that's all of those done. Then what we're going to do is we are just going to then have a look at them, because just to make sure they are as shiny as we want. Like I said, I think that's pretty much the case. We're then going to bring the actual 2 roses that we made. So this is using the large 5-leaf petal cutter, and this one is using the easiest rose ever cutter. They're, like I say, pretty different flowers. Okay, 2 roses there. One has got the beautiful bud in the middle, and the other one's slightly more open, but they both work really, really nicely together. So I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to paint the calyxes, okay, with the varnish as well. Okay, so we're just going to wait until they have dried, and then we're going to do that to the back of the roses.